Here is a video tutorial on properties of operations based from our module. After going through this lesson, you are expected to illustrate the different properties of operations on the set of integers. In adding or multiplying integers, you have to consider the different properties of integers. Properties of addition and multiplication. We have the closure property, commutative property, associative property, identity property, the additive inverse property for addition, and the multiplicative inverse property for multiplication. Zero property of multiplication, and lastly, the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Let us first have the closure property for addition. Example, 7 plus 12 is equal to 19. Negative 15 plus 12 is equal to negative 3. The closure property of addition states that for any integers a and b, a plus b is an integer. This is closed for addition since the addends are integers. The sum is also an integer. Also, for multiplication, 5 times 9 is equal to 45. Negative 3 times 8 is equal to negative 24. The closure property of multiplication states that for any integers a and b, a times b is an integer. This is closed for multiplication since the factors are integers. The product is also an integer. Let us first have the addition. For example, we have 6 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 2 plus 6. 4 is equal to 4. Letter B example, negative 8 plus negative 3 is equal to negative 3 plus negative 8. Negative 11 is equal to negative 11. The commutative property of addition states that for any integers a and b, a plus b is also equal to b plus a. The order of the addends will not affect the sum. Also, for multiplication, say for example, we have 7 times negative 5 is equal to negative 5 times 7. Negative 35 is equal to negative 35. Letter B example, 10 times 6 is equal to 6 times 10. 60 is equal to 60. The commutative property of multiplication states that for any integers a and b, a times b is equal to b times a. The order of factors will not affect the product. Let us first have the examples for addition. Letter A example, the quantity of 3 plus 7 is added to negative 4 is also equal to 3 plus the quantity of 7 plus negative 4, which will give us 10 plus negative 4 is equal to 3 plus 3. Answers: 6 is equal to 6. Letter B example, the quantity of negative 2 plus 8 added to 5 is equal to negative 2 plus the quantity of 8 plus 5 will now be equal to 6 plus 5 is equal to negative 2 plus 13. Answers: 11 is equal to 11. The associative property of addition states that for any integers a, b, and c, the quantity of a plus b added to c is also equal to a plus the quantity of b plus c. Different groupings of addends will not affect the sum. Also, for multiplication, cite for example, we have letter A given, the quantity of 4 times 5 multiplied to 7 is also equal to 4 multiplied to the quantity of 5 times 7 will give us 20 times 7 is equal to 4 times 35. Answers: 140 is equal to 140. Letter B example, the quantity of negative 2 times 6 multiplied to negative 4 is also equal to negative 2 multiplied to the quantity of 6 times negative 4 will give us negative 12 times negative 4 is equal to negative 2 times negative 24. Answers: 48 is equal to 48. The associative property of multiplication states that for any integers a, b, and c, the quantity of a times b multiplied to c is also equal to a multiplied to the quantity of b times c. Different groupings of factors will not affect the product. Examples for addition. Letter A given, 15 plus 0 is equal to 15. Letter B given, 0 plus negative 8 is equal to negative 8. The identity property of addition states that for any integer a plus 0 will always be equal to a. The sum of any number and 0 will always be equal to the number. The identity element of addition is 0. Also, for multiplication, cite for example, we have 32 times 1 is equal to 32. 1 times negative 15 is equal to negative 15. The identity property of multiplication states that for any integer a times 1 will always be equal to a. The product of any number and 1 will always be equal to the number. The identity element of multiplication is 1. Here are some examples of the additive inverse property. Letter A. 10 plus negative 10 is equal to 0. Letter B. Negative 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. The additive inverse property states that for any integer a plus negative a will always be equal to 0. The opposite of the given integer is called its additive inverse. The sum of a number and its additive inverse is 0. Also, we have the multiplicative inverse property. Example, 3 times 1 over 3 or 1/3 is equal to 3 over 3 equals 1. Negative 5 times negative 1 over 5 or negative 1/5 is equal to 5 over 5 equals 1. The multiplicative inverse property states that the reciprocal of the given integer is called its multiplicative inverse. The product of a number and its multiplicative inverse is 1. Examples showing the zero property of multiplication. Letter A. Negative 98 times 0 is equal to 0. Letter B. 0 times 12 is equal to 0. The zero property of multiplication states that for any integer a times 0 will always be equal to 0. Any number multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. Here are some examples showing the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Letter A. 6 times the quantity 4 plus 8 is equal to 6 times 4 plus 6 times 8. 6 times 12 is equal to 24 plus 48. Answers: 72 is equal to 72. Letter B. Negative 5 times the quantity negative 3 plus 10 is equal to negative 5 times negative 3 plus negative 5 times 10. Negative 5 times 7 is equal to 15 plus negative 50. Answers: negative 35 is equal to negative 35. The distributive property of multiplication over addition states that for any integers a, b, and c, a times the quantity of b plus c is also equal to a times b plus a times c. Adding first before multiplying or distributing the factor to each addend will give the same result. To summarize, here are some facts to remember. Adding or multiplying integers will give an integer sum or product. Interchanging the addends or factors will still give the same sum or product. Changing the grouping symbols for addition or multiplication will still give the same sum or product. Any number added to 0 will be the number itself. Any number multiplied to 1 will be the number itself. The opposite of a number added to itself will give you 0. The reciprocal of a number multiplied to itself will give you 1. Any number multiplied to 0 is 0. And lastly, adding first or distributing the factor to each addend will still give the same answer. Now, we are done illustrating the different properties of operations on the set of integers. Congratulations, class! Thank you for watching. Again, it's Teacher K saying enjoy learning and happy solving.